So if you can see, module one is more of Python. It's basics, how, what are the data types, what is the flow control, what are functions, how do you handle simple files. Then there is NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and scikit-learn. So the last two rows don't get bogged down by the terminology. These are basically packages that Python has. And NumPy is basically NumPy pandas are basically packages to have your data set in a particular structure. Matplotlib is more of a visualization package. Scikit-learn is your most important data science package, which can be called in a layman's terms, and it is used for all the machine learning algorithms. So in module 2, you'll understand what is machine learning, what is the difference between supervised and unsupervised learning, what are Bayesian algorithms, what are decision trees, classification algorithms, clustering algorithms, what is cross validation, and then we have a conclusion with a project, and then we'll just touch base on deep learning and NLP, just to give a flavor of it. Okay, so I'll not go into detail because this will sound more of jargons right now. But this is how your material will look like. And okay, so it starts from today, the timing. Okay. So machine learning is a type of artificial intelligence that provides computers the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. Now, to put into perspective, just imagine a baby. How does a baby come to know everything when he or she grows up? Okay, you are not spoon feeding him everything, right? Telling him, okay, this is a red color, this is orange, this is green, but it's not practically possible for you to feed every information to the baby. Okay, so baby learns on itself according to the experience. He or she learns to walk. He or she learns to talk. You can feed him with some corrections, right? But you cannot feed him with everything that is available in the world. So it will learn it by itself. The same thing, same logic applies to machine learning. Okay, machine learning is something which the machine is learning by experiences. You cannot hard code it. Okay, Sunil Pathak is AI, asking what is AI. Okay, now it's a good question. So AI is a very broader set, and machine learning is a subset. So AI, for example, if you call in, for example, Visual Basic, I mean VBA codes. If you ask in Excel that you're doing automation, okay, even Excel is a form of AI. Okay, if you're doing automation, if you're doing anything that eases your task with your phone, or even robotics is AI. Okay, but robotics, everything, for example, a very typical engineering college project is to feed in a car to run on a white line, right, or follow a white line. So that is AI. That is not machine learning. You have already told the car to understand, to follow the white line. It is hard coded. If you give it a green color line, it will not understand what to do, right? So it is not thinking on its own. You have hard coded something, and you have told the car to follow this line. So that is AI. Okay, something which is automating the process. Okay, but machine learning is a subset of AI. So machine learning, as I told you, that the machine is learning from previous data, albeit previous experiences, which is stored in the form of data. Okay, so are we clear on this? Can you just ping me a yes? If anyone has a question, you can. Okay, Sunil Pathak is not clear with this. Okay, let us understand again. So machine learning is a field of study wherein the machine is understanding from data and uses that data. You're using some algorithms to predict the future. Okay, so as I told you the baby example, I think that is a very simple example you can put the whole thing into. So you cannot code everything. For example, if you have to identify a chair, okay, you can say the chair has four legs. the four legs are of these dimensions. It has a seat that is placed on these four legs. It has a backrest. Okay, so you understand that as a chair. What if the chair has six legs? Your code will not be able to tell you that it has six legs, right? But if you have employed machine learning, it understands a chair is something a person used to sit. It is learning from all the data. In the previous data, there might be some instances where there's a six-legged chair, and therefore it understands that even if a six-legged chair comes, it is a chair. It is not something alien to me, right? So something like that. You cannot hard code everything in this world. Uh, that is why you need machine learning to understand that something similar is also exist. Okay, Sunil, is that clear now? Okay, he's happy with the answer. Okay, so let's move on. So as I told you, the baby example, humans learn from experience. So does the machine when in the machine learning field. Okay, machine learns from data. I told you earlier also. So a traditional program is something which has input data and output data. Machine learning is has an data which it trains itself on. I mean, it learns, it trains itself on, and then there's a output which is a program. Now, if you use this program, this output as something you can use for a different input. Okay, so it will be lot clear when we go into actual machine learning, but just understand the essence of it. You are using the machine to understand from the input data whatever you have. In future, whatever data will come, you'll feed that data into the program you've got, and then the program will give you an output. Okay, so for example, we'll see the examples that are there. So spam filtering. Okay, this is very interesting example of machine learning and also NLP. So Gmail, how does Gmail understand whether this email is should go into a spam box or in an inbox? You have you ever coded that? Have you ever sent a mail to spam? Yes, you have done it. So what you have done is you have identified some mails that you may have seen that it is not, it does not relate anything to me. So if you send that to spam box, so what the Google engine is doing, it is understanding that okay, if I see a mail coming from this sender, which has some words typically like you have won a big prize, congratulations, or give me your account number, some things like these. If anything like these comes into your mailbox, okay, I will put that into spam because I know that the user doesn't like it, and also it is relating so many users. So for example, there are billion users of Gmail, right? So billion users are feeding in the data to the Google engine that these are the mails which are faulty. I mean, these are spam. Okay, so any mail which uses words like winning a prize, immediately give your account number, will transfer this much money, this much of money. So these are all spams. So Google has understood that if I find a mail which has such kind of numbers or such kind of immediate attention kind of things, so I'll classify it as a spam. Okay, so moving on to the next, stock price prediction. This is kind of a time series analysis. Everyone is interested in investment. So, but what if I can predict the future and say that this stock is going up or going to go down? I can make huge amounts of money, right? Okay, so it is not actually 100% possible for you to predict what will be. Otherwise, then everyone will be a millionaire, right? And then there will be actually no arbitrage in the market. But that is not the case. I mean, your machine learning can so much go to a certain extent, but of course after that there are limitations. But having said that, there is certain extent to which you can predict your stock prices, and you know many of the banks are currently using algorithmic trading, like Goldman Sachs and all. So they are using algorithmic trading so that the machine will automatically make investments, pull out money according to the stock prices, and maximize the profit. Any questions till now? Okay, and you is okay with progress till now? Okay. Okay, Netflix, very common example of Netflix. How does Netflix know which movie you're going to watch? How, for example, if you have watched Spider-Man movie or Iron Man movie, it will probably know that, okay, this guy is, I think, a Marvel fan. So let me give him more Marvel movies. Okay, if you have watched Superman, Batman, then Netflix will know. Okay, this guy is more of into action, and this guy is seeing a lot of movies from DC. Okay, let me give him something which he relates to. Okay, so then if you have seen action movies, okay, then it will know that this guy is, I think, is interested in action movies. Let's recommend this movie to him. It's kind of similar how Amazon works. So Amazon does a similar kind of a recommendation system engine, which if you have bought this product, they suggest you products which you can put in the basket with your product, which you were interested in initially. For example, uh, so let's see. For example, if you are buying um, a water bottle, or let's say if you're buying a hot water bottle or flask, okay, so it can suggest you can buy this tea because you can put the tea in your flask. So it's just a crude example, but nonetheless, you never know, Amazon will be doing that on a serious basis. Face recognition. So, for example, your iPhone has an amazing face recognition system. As I've heard, I don't actually own one, but people have said that the iPhone 8 or I think iPhone 10X has amazing face recognition, and it can even distinguish amongst twins, wherein even a mother can mistake. So how does it do that? So every Apple server won't have every face ready in his database, right? It is not kind of a database. For example, if I see this face, whether this face has been mapped to this user, it is not like that. Okay, it is actually recognizing on the spot. So, for example, if you're even wearing a hat, it will understand this face belongs to this user. So it will open it for you. So this is done by convolution neural networks, is not under the scope of this study. But having said that, you can always, when we introduce deep learning, you can always go through in depth and understand how convolution neural networks work. But it's very interesting, actually. I mean, CNNs have improved so much that they are even beating human, even having a better accuracy than what humans can do. That's interesting, right? Voice to text again is kind of your Google Translator, or even your whatever you're saying. For example, Alexia, and all. So there are n number of examples where the machine learning is used. Okay, the voice to text, it will understand the vibrations of the receiver and understand that this letter that this person has spoken is mapped to this text. Okay, so n number of you know uh, uh, examples. Legal bot. So that if a imagine how difficult it is for a lawyer to go through so much of books and so much of data. How about if I have a law bot, and it can I feed in that this is my problem, and it can suggest me, okay, this is your solution, these are the laws that cover, these are the penalty codes that cover it. So, customer service, how do these service providers are understanding the customer voice, and you know, suggesting methods so that if this customer is really angry, I get back to him, and they're actually understanding by the voice, by the sentiments the customer is speaking, and they are recommending that this customer is angry. He may churn out from our service. Let's give him a particular discount offer he may be interested in. Okay, healthcare, to our cardiologist. Um, I think it was Andrew, right? So I think healthcare has really benefited from the machine learning, especially deep learning. I mean, people are saying that cancers, especially tumors, brain cancers, are being predicted way in advance than what it is humanly possible for even the best of the doctors to predict. Heart rhythms are even being predicted, that if how this ECG looks like, even if it is good, this might not be that good 2 years down the line, according to his different lipid profiles, sugar profiles. I mean, I'm not an expert in that field, but that's how it works. And so autonomous cars, I think everyone has heard about Uber, Google test driving their autonomous cars. So autonomous cars really are dependent on deep learning algorithms to, guide themselves to, destination without, having incidents on the road. So it is a huge application of, I think it is the benchmark right now, what people are trying to achieve. Okay, I'll pause here for about 2 minutes. Any questions on this?
So basically, we want to say machine learning means we have some previous data, we will feed to machine, and for the next output we will give, okay, this is my input, give me the output. Is it correct?
Exactly. To put into perspective, that is well said, Sunil. So you have a data. For example, I think stock prediction is very easy to understand in this sense. How do you predict the stock? Okay, so you have your data right now. Okay, you don't have your data in the future. If you would have data in the future, then there is no need to predict. Right? You have your data right now. You're training your machine that if your data somewhat looks like this, to be very crude, if your data somewhat looks like this, please predict the price in the future. Okay, so your input will be in the future. Whenever there's an input, you have the input ready. For example, let's say there are a lot of algorithms which are relating the news to stock prices. Okay, so for example, if Donald Trump says that X and X statement, what will be the stock? What will be my price of Dow Chemicals? Stock price of Dow Chemicals. Let's say 2 days down the line. So there are algorithms which are predicting stock prices in the future. So something which you have not seen. If you have already seen a certain instance, then you know what real price will be. You don't need a machine to tell you. A machine is there to tell you a particular instance which you have not seen in your history, but you want to know it. Okay, got it, Sunil?
Yeah, so we mean we have n number of data as of now,
Uh-huh.
and tomorrow next data is coming, input is coming for which we don't know output. So that is only prediction that can be wrong or right.
Yeah, yeah. Prediction can be wrong or
So
right.
if
That's correct.
so, okay, so it means that is also related with probability somewhere.
Exactly. I think you are hitting the nail on the head. There is a probability of everything, and you cannot be 100% sure that this your whatever output you are giving is 100% correct. No one can be sure that. Okay, so there's a problem. Everything has a probability associated with a particular output, and you can know what is the accuracy of your model on your training data. But yeah, again, that is something which is a probable scenario, that what is the confidence. Typically you call it as a confidence interval in statistics, that this is, you are 95% confident that this data will is correct. I mean, this output is correct.
It means assuming we have n data and we are using any model, I mean libraries, then it will also say me how much accuracy is this, or will it not say anything? Just it will give output whether that can be wrong or right.
No, no.
And question is, if that is wrong, who is going to fix that?
No, no. So I think what we are trying to say is that you have n data points. You have trained your model, and you know a training accuracy. We'll come to that when we do cross validation, right? We'll come to that. You'll understand it better. What is the essence of cross validation? What is test data? You'll understand that. I think your questions will be clear by then.
And also two things you use. One algorithm means there is no fixed algorithm
Yeah,
which
there's
will
no
be
fixed.
used in all cases.
No. There's so if there's there would be a fixed algorithm, then this won't be so big a study for research, right? People don't know which is the best algorithm to fit in. There are many iterations, many go arounds. There are so many algorithms which are being developed as we speak, and there's no particular best algorithm to fit in for every case. As I told you, this is not something which is a hard coded problem. You have to, have statistics knowledge. You have to understand the model principles behind it, and every model has a different assumption. So you have to go in. So when we talk about machine learning, we'll talk about all these things. Don't worry, we'll address all of
Okay, okay,
them.
okay, that's great. Only one more question, basically.
Yeah.
So you gave around 8 or 9 examples. Only in the medical science, you gave that deep learning solves this one.
Huh.
Why not in all others? So what does this deep learning mean, and how it is that example was different from others?
Okay. So, why in a healthcare? I think in healthcare, in voice to text, in image, face recognition, even in stock prediction. I mean, deep learning can be used anywhere. But
Okay.
why healthcare? I told it specifically because healthcare has, had significant advantages after using deep learning. So we'll come to why deep learning is, better in terms of traditional machine learning models, how it does, improves your accuracy. We'll come to that again.
Okay, that's.
Okay,
Thank you.
sure.
There's a quick question. Isn't the training or the learning of the machine is it continuous, or like you do it only one time and then based on that training it does this thing, because the data changes daily, right?
Yeah, so that's a very good question, Krishna. I think so. For example, when you are a developer of a model, you have some understanding of the data. Your model is not continuously updated; it's not a continuous process. But having said that, you need to have some time frames where your model needs to be updated with your latest data, but it is not a continuous process. It is a discrete process, and it is dependent on the developer or the you know whatever the costs of updating the model are. So it will be dependent on many things, but it is not a continuous process.
Thank you.
Oh. Okay, Vasant is asking what are the substitutes for Python for machine learning. Substitutes, I would say Python is being widely used because it has almost all the libraries. Since it is an open source, we'll come to see why Python is very advantageous for machine learning. R is also being widely used for machine learning, but deep learning, NLP, the advanced machine learning problems are being solved by Python only as of now. But then again, there is Google, which has introduced TensorFlow for deep learning. There's Nvidia, there's Microsoft. So everyone has a different data architecture. But Python, if you know Python, I think you can, have you can train your hands on any of these architectures. Okay. I'll just take.
So one more question, sorry. So if we learn this, how difficult is it to switch from Python to R? Like,
R is pretty easy. R is a statistical software. It is not a programming language. Python is a programming language. R is comparatively easier than to understand than Python. So if you know Python, I think you will be good to go with R also. But having said that, also has a different syntax compared to Python. But I think for machine learning enthusiasts, I think Python makes more sense.
oh, thank you.
Okay, I'll just take a 1 minute break, and I'll just start again. Okay, 1 minute break. Okay, can everyone hear me? Okay, so we'll continue. Any more questions? Okay. So, as I told you, why Python is widely used as a machine learning tool. Okay, Sunil, I think you do you have a question? Okay. So Python is an open source. What do you mean by open source? Is that anyone can contribute. For example, if you think that you have developed a package or you have developed an algorithm of yourself, you need to put in your request, and Python can approve it. If they see that if it is valuable, they can put it on their. So, for example, let's say scikit-learn, okay, or let's say logistic regression. Python developer, particular person didn't develop, or the Python team didn't develop logistic regression. There may be a person X from each one of you, who can be anyone, who had developed logistic regression according to his statistical knowledge, and then approach the Python team that I have developed such a such package. Can you just see this and put this on your website? Put this in your program. So that's why it has a lot of contributions from the computer science community, and that's why it has the most number of packages, and that's why it is being widely used. Same as R. Okay, so R is again an open source tool which anyone and everyone can contribute. But of course, there are checks so that the quality is maintained and there are no bugs that creep into. So it's very easy to use Python, a very intuitive language. Just to put that into perspective, for example, in Java, if you need to print simple hello world statement, there are 3 4 lines of code. In Python, you just need to print hello world. That's how simple it is. Okay. So as I told you, these are the libraries that Python has, and we'll not go into depth right now. But as I told you, these are the packages. Pandas and NumPy are used for data structure. Scikit-learn is for your machine learning. MATLAB is a visualization. It is the top 10 amongst most used languages in the world, loved by data scientists. Okay, so I don't think we need to even reiterate this. All of you know how important it is. Just to have that in value, have that in numbers. So there's a projection that the market will go to 5.05 billion by 2020. Big data. Big data is something which your machine can't handle, okay, or your servers can't handle. That can be according to the volume. If you're having 8 GB machine, 8 GB RAM, you cannot handle a 1 TB data set, right? Similarly, um, if you have a lot of high velocity that your data is coming, okay, so for example, Amazon, yeah, if I count the number of try to start to count the number of clicks the Amazon website is having every day, that is huge data in terms of volume and also velocity, because every second there are number of clicks that are observed. So that's how. And variety is basically, it can be in form of images, it can be in form of text, it can be in form of videos. So your data, for example, your autonomous cars, okay, so every second it is reading frames from videos, or it is taking pictures. So every and then it is taking sound sensors, it is taking motion sensors. So there are multiple uh, types of. It is not feeding in an Excel sheet, right? A car doesn't. Autonomous cars is not feeding data in from an Excel sheet. It is having data in all forms and bits. So that's what your variety of data means. So big data is another big area of machine learning. So after this course, we expect that everyone should be equipped with Python as a pet programming language. He or she should understand what's machine learning. Probably start applying that to real world problems, and of course, when we are going through, we'll discuss all of the possible machine learning algorithms that are there right now. uh, Cross validation to tune the accuracy of the model. Okay, so since one of you was very eager with this question, how your train and test is happening, let me give you a very simple, uh, explanation of what happens. So, as you said, so for example, if you have 100 data points in your, let's assume that you have an Excel sheet of 100 rows and 5, 6 columns. Okay, you have this data. You need to train a model on this data, and you need to use this model to predict in the future. Okay, makes sense. Now, you also need to understand how good your model is. Okay, so for example, if a model is you have trained a model 100 data points, you feed in the same 100 data points to the model, it doesn't make sense, because your model has already seen these data points. It knows. Okay, so I'm again saying machine learning is not something which is extraction of a database. Okay, it is something which has to do that your machine has never seen in his experience. Okay, in its experience. So, for example, if you have trained on 100 data points and you feed in 100 data points and you see the prediction and compare it with the actual value, you will obviously get a very low error, because the machine has already seen these data points in its experience. However, if you do this thing, you take 80 data points, you keep 20 data points for testing. Okay, so 80 data points will be classified under the training of the data, training the model. 20 will be used for the testing of the model. Okay, so you train your model on 80 data points, and then you test your model on 20 data points, on the other 20 data points. So that accuracy, you'll understand, okay, this model didn't see these 20 data points earlier. Right now, after the prediction, I compare the prediction with the actuals and see what is the average error on these 20 data points. You'll get a fairly good understanding of how your model will perform in the future. So I'll not again reiterate and spend much time on this right now, because we have a particular module on that. But yeah, just to satisfy the curiosity, I mentioned this. Okay, the last week we'll have go in little depth on deep learning and natural language processing to give you a taste of what it is. But in-depth analysis of each of these will not be done in this course. Okay, so I'll skip this history of Python. This is how it came up to speed. Okay, so I don't think I need to spend much time on this. These are basic definitions. Compiler versus interpreter is a compiler is something which converts the language into a language that the machine understands. Interpret, it does it directly on the fly, so I need not spend much time into this. Python is an interpreter. Okay. Okay. Now, so everyone has installed Anaconda. Can you please open your Jupyter notebooks? Do you know how to open the Jupyter notebook? Okay. So there are two ways you can use. So just type in Anaconda on your screen. There will be an Anaconda Navigator, which is a desktop app. You can click on that. I'm not clicking because it takes a little bit of time. But you guys need to do this. So, or if you don't find Anaconda Navigator, just type Jupyter here, and there will be a notebook app. Okay. Can everybody open it? Please ping me. I'm not getting a picture of what is happening. Okay, and you has replied yes. Sharad, yes. That's great, Krishna. Yes. Sunil, yes. Thank you so much. So after you open a Jupyter, open your Jupyter notebook, there probably there will be a black screen which appears like this, like a command shell, and then it will open your local host on your web browser. Okay. So what you need to do is go here, click on new. Let me see this, and click on Python default. Okay, and so you'll see something probably like this. I mean, it will be blank in your case, but some kind of interface like this. Okay, Andrew has reached there. That's great, Andrew. Okay, Sunil. Sunil, which one you are using? Are you going through the Anaconda Navigator or your Jupyter Notebook directly? Anaconda Navigator. Okay, so in your Anaconda Navigator, if you click on your Anaconda Navigator, then there will be uh, okay. Typically, Anaconda Navigator will have Jupyter Notebook. If you don't have, then you probably need to install that again, because Anaconda will have Jupyter. It will have Spider. It will have. Okay, Sunil has it. If you don't find, just search it here, Jupyter. Probably you can get it directly.
Uh, Hello, this is Sharad here. I'm not able to find. I am on the Anaconda,
Okay.
and where to find that Jupyter notebook. I also started that Jupyter notebook, but it is the black screen I see. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
see
yeah.
any other thing. I don't know what.
Correct. Okay, so probably you're seeing this if you see my screen, right?
It is saying one-time token authentication, something like that. It's still there.
Okay, just wait for some time. It will automatically open on your web browser.
Okay, and then what exactly I need to do there?
Okay, so if you go there, you see this,
Mm-hmm.
and then click on Python default.
Okay.
If you click on this, you'll get something like this. Probably a blank one, but you'll get something like
Mm-hmm.
this.
Okay.
Sunil, I am sharing my screen. Okay, so you're on this page, right? Where it says Jupyter Untitled to last checkpoint, right, Sunil?
Yes, correct. Yes.
Okay, then
Then next.
perfect. Perfect. Okay, so I think everyone is on the same page. Okay, so don't do anything right now. So I uh, okay, now let's just type this str is equal to hello. and just print str. And then just press Control Enter, both together. So everyone sees hello on their screen. This only the green highlighted one should appear. Uh, Andrew, did you
No.
just need to do this? Print str hello. Str is equal to inverted commas hello, and then no, you need not print your parenthesis. I mean, you did not give parenthesis there. Print this should be a space and str. You can see this, right? I'm just running this.
Yeah, it's telling me I should have parentheses around the string command.
Which Python you are using? Which edition?
Python 3.
Okay, I think Python 3 has made that essential. Okay, no issues. Just put that parenthesis.
Yeah, it works now with the parentheses.
Okay, okay.
So in my case, basically, what tabs you can see, say plus, these tabs I'm not getting, and also control interpret's not working. It's not doing anything in my browser.
Okay. Well, so it should happen like this. I mean, uh, that's how it works. I mean, it should open up on the browser. So probably we'll get back to you after the session because I think other people have already started that. Just follow me on the screen. You can try on your notepad. Try on your notepad, and after the session we can look at it. Okay. So
Okay.
okay. So what is a variable? Variable is something which stores a particular value, right? So like str equal to hello. So the hello is your data and str is your variable, right? So you're storing the data of hello in a variable called str. Okay. So labeling the data, okay, reserve memory location to store values. You assign values to the variable. Equal to is your assignment of operator, okay. It is not equal to. I mean, there's a distinction between when you want to compare if a equal to 1 and a equal to 1 is something different. Okay, we'll get to that later, but this is just a run through of what is a variable. So there are so many data types in Python. String, it means if you want to feed in words. Integer, if it is an integer. Float, if it is a decimal value. Okay. Okay, now we'll do this. Okay, now, so for example, you did this, right? Print str, it showed the complete word hello, right? Now, for example, as a user, okay, let me open this. As a user, if I want to see only the first letter. Okay, now Python enables you to access, each of the letters of a string. Okay, so if you want to take H, if you want to take E, if you take the L, O, each gives you power to access each of the letters of the word. So okay, now this is very important to understand, or hear me out properly. Python always starts its indices with 0. Okay, it doesn't start with 1. H is 0. Okay, the indice means what is the address of H. Okay, so H is 0, E is 1, L is 2, the again second L is 3, and O is 4. Okay, so if you want to go and see what is on the, if you want to get the value of O, just follow my screen. Okay, so it says O is at the fourth. It is not. It is a 5-letter word, but 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, if you want to see, let's say the second word, that is E, then you have to put in 1. Sorry, 1. Okay, so it will give you E. Okay, are you guys getting it? This is very important. Python
Yeah.
starts its indices from 0 and not from 1. Okay, so just do each of these. I'll do it with you. Just follow me and check your results. Okay, now this is very interesting. So 2 is to 5. It means it will start from 0, 1, 2. It should start from 2, then 3, then 4. Okay. Now this is very important. Python, whatever it is there after the after the colon, it doesn't include that. Okay. So it is actually 2, 3, 4. 5 is not included. Okay. So it will display the third letter, the fourth letter, and the fifth letter in actual. But in Python, it says second, third, and fourth. Okay, indices, because it is starting from 0. So again, I will mark it. H is 0, E is 1, L is 2, L is 3, and O is 4 in Python. Okay, so if you want to access LLO, you have to write to 2 to 5. 5 is not included, then 2, 3, 4. Do you get it? Okay. Now let's see this str2. What it should give? It should give LLO. And from 2, it's almost the same thing, right? Here I've specified the end, which is actually the end. Here I've not specified the end, but this means I'm taking this to the end. Okay, starting from 2, I'm taking it to the end. So LLO is again the same output we are getting here. Okay, I'll do it a little fast because we have a lot to cover. But just stop me if you have any doubt. Okay. So, okay, now see this. str into 2, it means you cannot multiply a string, right? It doesn't make sense to multiply a string into 2. But what Python does is, it is a very user friendly approach. So if you want to concatenate two strings one after the other, I mean the same string, just have str into 2. It will add two strings. Okay, it's the same thing as str plus str. It's the same thing as str plus str. Okay, and if I even put str, it will give 3 times. Okay, so it's the same thing as str into 3. Okay, str minus 1. Now this is very interesting if you want to see here. So what it gives is, this is the minus. Whenever you have a minus, let us understand this. Whenever you have a minus, it is saying from the end. So from the end, it is taking the first letter. From the end, it is taking the first letter, that is O. If I take the 2 from the end, it is taking the second last letter. Okay. Uh, okay. Now these last two is very important. Concentrate on this. I'll write together. Okay. So what it is saying, see, minus, interpret each of the numbers as it is, each of the signs as it is. So what I told, minus is from the end. 3 means from the end we are taking the third. So 0, 1, sorry, first, second, whenever we are trying from the end, there is no 0. When we are starting from the forward direction, there is 0. From end, there is no 0. Okay, so you're taking -3 means you're starting from -1, -2, follow my cursor, -1, -2, -3, and colon means the same thing here. Colon means we are taking it to the end. So from -3, it means -1, -2, -3, we are taking it from the end, LLO. So we should get LLO. Any questions here? Any questions here? I repeat, can you give me a yes or no? Good for now, Vasant. Thank you so much. Sunil, okay. Thank you so much. So I presume everyone is clear till now. Again, if you see the last one, so trace this number again. So minus means what I told from the end. So 1 from the end, 2 from the end, 3 from the end. Okay. So we are taking from the starting 2 minus 3. And I said whenever this sort of thing is there, 2 to 5, we didn't include the 5, right? So again, from 0 to this, we'll not include this. So we'll take HE. Okay. So these are the basic techniques where you can, slice your text. Okay. From colon, so whenever there's colon, you're starting from the end or starting from the starting, and if there's colon at the end, then you're starting from the end. Okay, so just very easy to understand. You'll just get it used to it when you practice, but just understand whenever. So this colon means there you are starting from the start. Okay, then minus is till the third letter from the end. Okay, so I'll not spend much time in this. I hope everyone is clear on this. Okay, and as I told, if you add anything on a string, it will just get appended to it. So if you, I showed str plus str, it was hello plus hello, it means hello, and str plus exclamation, it means hello, 3 exclamation. I'll just show you this quickly. Okay, remember one thing, whenever you are inputting characters, for example, if I want to write hello 123, I will not write 123. Okay, Python will understand this as numbers. If I want this as characters, I will put it in commas. Okay, so hello 123. Okay, remember this, that is the most important. Whenever you want characters, that should be in inverted commas. If you want numbers, it will give me an error, right? If you see this, it will give me an error. Okay. Okay, now integers. I'll not spend too much time into this because string is, whatever we learned in string is a more advanced version. Integers is much simpler. So if you have this is an integer 16, print a 16. Okay. Do you want me to do these addition, subtraction, division, multiplication? I mean, it's just a very simple. Okay, let me do this. A into 4. Okay, Sharad says it need not be done. I'll just show you the modulus. Okay, so print A was 16, A into 16, A into 4 is 64, and A modulus 4 is 0. Modulus means the remainder. Okay. Okay. Now see this. For example, okay, now forget this. For example, I put my name and then I put a year. Okay, 2000. Now there's two ways you can print this. Okay, so Print name year. This is a simpler thing, name comma year. Okay, so it will print Shubhodeep 2018. You can also do this by saying print %s, and then so you have told that the let me read this statement out. You have told Python to print two strings. %s means string, %s means strings with a space, and those string address will be in these variables, person name and year. So if I run this again, it will give me again Shubhodeep 2018. Okay, we are clear on this, right? I'm not. I'll just do a simple modification to make you understand one thing. If your year is 2018, I cannot put string here. Okay, I need to put it as a integer. So integers are in %d. If yes, it is a string, it is in %s. If it is a float, it is in %f. Okay, all good to go. Give me a yes if you have. If you don't have any questions. I mean, are we good to go? Okay, Andrew, thank you so much. Vasan, thank you so much. Okay, so I same thing. I'll not repeat this again. Okay, print division. Now this is interesting. Print to these are the all these all are the same operators. Nothing different from integers. This is again the same thing which we did, except for the variable. We are declaring the operation here only. Okay. Now, if you want to put it in two decimal places, I'll just show you the code for that. Okay, concentrate on this. I've put year as 2008. Of course, it cannot be point, but just on the don't go into the little sense. 2018.567. Okay, this is a 3-digit decimal. I want to have just the 2 decimal points after 2018. So I write %.2f. Let me show you. Uh, okay, so 2018.57, right? It is taking only, it will round it off, obviously, and it will take only 2 decimals. If I want 5 decimals, 56700. Okay, so I think everyone is good with this. Nothing to worry about here. Okay, so these are the keywords. We'll go into each of them later. This just to give you some taste of it. We'll not go into details right now. Okay, so these are statements. A collection of statements makes a program. These are very generic examples. Assignment statement is something where we are assigning values. Print statement, conditional statement will go into looping statements will go and see. And okay, so operators, arithmetic operators, comparison operators, logical operators, bitwise operators. Uh, Bitwise operators and assignment operators are not assignment operators. The bitwise operators are not used much because we don't operate on bit. We don't carry out bitwise operations much because, as I told you, Python is an interpreter. It can easily understand your language and then have it change on the fly. But it does have the capacity. Assignment operators. So this is an equal to. Okay, let me show you an example of bitwise operator. X plus 2. X is 5. Okay. So I'm using this assignment operator. So what it means is, okay, I'll just So this means is the same as, so x plus equal to 2 is equal to x is equal to x plus 2. It's the same sentence. So Python gives you this to shorten your code. That's it. Normally, this kind of operators are used in loops. Okay, when you want to increment each number. Okay. Special operators, identity operators, and membership operators. We'll get to that later. Okay, now let's see a list. Okay. So list is basically something what you call an array in typical computer language. Array is a sequence of words or sequence of a sequence of data types. Okay. Now in C, int array could not hold a string character. Okay, but Python is very intelligent. It can even hold different data types in a particular variable. So for example, here I've defined A is a list. Okay, so you can define list by this, or you can define list by this. There are two types where you can define list. Okay, so either of them works. And then this is your assignment. So you're giving A, the first value is 1, and the next value is P. Okay, and then you can even put a float value. Okay, so if you print this, I'll remove all these things. Okay, we don't know, not need it. So see, it doesn't give me an error. It is it can take multiple types of data types in, you can put in your list. Okay, so yeah, any questions till now? Give me a yes if you are good to go. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so structure of a list, the same indexing as we spoke when we are doing of in string. So your first index is addressed by 0. The next, okay, any sorting keywords, Vasan? Can you be a little clear on that? Sorting as in sorting keywords. Want to ask how to list, how to sort the list? Okay, yeah, we'll come to that. We'll come to that. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, the same type where we how we discussed the index in the hello world example. Okay, okay, so creating a list we have seen, accessing a list. I think it's pretty easy. Looping over a list. Okay, looping over as in how we can traverse inside a list. Okay, now let's see that. This is how you define a list, or this is how you assign the numbers. This is your looping. Okay, so if you know C or C++, you must remember that defining a for loop was a huge task. You need a counter variable, you need the array, you need to increment. But Python is very very intelligent. So you see this, for I in A print I. So if if you just write this statement for I in A, I mean it under I you even not need not define it. Okay, so you just write for I in A, print I. Python will automatically understand that okay, A is a list. This user is asking me to iterate over A. Okay, and go through A. So for I in A, print I. So if I see this, okay, let me put these as comments here now, so that you don't get confused. See, it's very intelligent. I didn't even tell that I have to increment I by 1 or I is 0. I just wrote for I in A, print I. Okay, so it is going through A and it is printing A. Okay, so it is very very intelligent. And modifying list, modifying I can. So for example, if I want the second, so I've already written here. Uh, For example, if I want the second element, So second element means 0, 1, 2, the third. So this 3 should become 4. I want 4 to be assigned at the A2 value. Okay. So if I do this, sorry. Okay, and if I put this as this, so you see, okay, wait. Okay, I need to write that in a uh, different line, because this is already processing this 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will print that, and this is a later value assignment. But you guys get this, right? If I uh, write it here, okay, 1, 2, 4, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 4, 4, 5, because I made 3, which is at the second index according to Python, is 4. So when I iterate over this, 1, 2, 4, 4, 5. Okay. Now searching is endless. So searching is equally easy. Okay. Now yes, we can change the value to a string, because, as I said, the list can take any value. It can take an integer at an index. It can take a float. It can take a string. So we can change any value to that string. I mean, to the list. Okay. Now, just to see, we what we were doing is searching a list. If so, just to show this, I'll do. Yeah, thank you, Krishna. So I know there's 5 in it. Okay, so I'll just search 5 in the list. It says true. Okay, so if 5 in A, print true, else print false. Okay. Now a very important thing in Python when you're dealing with loops is this indentation. Indentation is how your code is structured. Okay. Now whenever you are running a loop or an if-else statement, this if is your if, okay, then there's a colon, and then there's a indentation of 4 spaces, or you can press a tab. Okay, then there's an else, and then you can press a tab. Okay, so this is how indentation works. Why is this important? Let me show you. For example, if you want to write a nested if statement, I mean, if inside an if. Okay, so for example, if you want to write an if here, let's say if str equal to hello. See, this if statement will start from here. Okay, so this is how your, so normally C and other languages have brackets. Okay, so you put a bracket, so outside bracket, inside bracket, it will understand the nested ifs. But in Python, you need not put any brackets. You just have to put the adequate space. So this is the bigger if, it will go inside it, it will print it, then it will check another if, then it will go inside it, and then print. Okay, so this is how it works. Any questions right now, till now? Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, Vasant is asking whether this colon is part of syntax of all loops. Yes, Vasan, that is important because Python needs to understand from where the loop or the if statement starts. Okay, so this colon you're referring to is important here. Okay.
Is that for all or only for if?
No, it is for all. Even if when you starting for or while loops, you need to put that. Okay, so okay, now coming to the sorting a list. Now it is very surprisingly easy. Let me where did my Python go? Okay, so sorting in Python is very easy. You just need to put so for example a equal to 1, 2, 3, and then okay, this is put all these in columns. Second. Where is showing now? Okay, so this particular syntax error, I think. Okay. So okay, the error was that it doesn't understand print a dot sort directly in a line. So just separate those lines, and it will store the sorted array or sorry sorted list inside the same array. Okay, same list. So a is kind of a is equal to a dot sort. Okay, and so that's why it was giving an error. Uh, so yeah, it's very easy actually. Just you need to put the list dot sort, and it will sort the list for you. Vasant, does this answer? I think someone had a question on sorting, right? How to sort this? That's a good question. So for sorting in descending order, you just need to put a parameter in that function. I'll just tell you the parameter. I'll just type it here. So basically there are two ways you can do this. Either you use sort and then reverse it. Okay. So I'll just Okay, thank you so much.
Uh, is
I'll
there
just
any
wait for 1 minute.
so
If anyone has any questions on this, you can ask me.
is there any help available for the functions or anything?
Yeah, that also you can use. So that's why I told. If you put a dot sort as okay, so Vasant, normally we all the keywords and all they are available online. So I think Stack Overflow is a wonderful place where you can get all the answers for your queries and have it ready. So normally we use every data scientist uses Stack Overflow, and then there's Geeks for Geeks, which helps you with all the queries. But there's no specific manual that is there for Python keywords as such. But in the content where we saw in our slides, we already have a collection of keywords where you can see. But of course, that is not so because. This comes to the point where that Python is an open source, right? So everyone is contributing almost every uh, other day. So you cannot update your manual, or you cannot send updates to your manual so frequently. So that's why it is available. Everything is available online. So there are multiple ways to doing it. So for example, I did it like this. This is what came to my mind right now. And then there's a sort reverse. So this is also can work. So there are multiple keywords. So uh, you'll get to know every time you program, you search on Google and you get your doubts cleared. So that's how you learn. I mean, it's not something which you can learn right now. All the keywords, but it comes with practice. Okay, so sum and averaging is very easy. Sum of all items in a list is very it's very easy. I'll just show you the code if I have this. You just need to put sum of a. I mean, if your a is the list, then you just put sum of a, and then average is just you need to divide it by the length of a. Now, just one thing you need to see. So, for example, we have a is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, print length. Okay, so there's no confusion at all about the length. Okay, there's no zero index, one index. Length is length. So if there are four elements, you need to, uh, the length will return four. So just need to put sum of a divided by length of a, right? So that will just give you the average. Let's try this. Sorry, I just received a ping. I didn't couldn't read. Can you please send me back? Okay, I missed a ping. I think I'm not getting the response again. Anyways, so let's continue. Any questions till now? Right now, send me a yes if you're good to go. Okay. Okay, someone had written then that there's an help command in Python, I think. Uh, yes, that you're correct. There's a help command, but again, what I'm trying to say is many times you don't know what you're searching, and it is always better to Google it and go into Stack Overflow or top search results. For example, I used to go into the help in Python, but it doesn't actually help me much. So that's why I think Google is a much better destination to have your queries of about keywords, and because uh, platforms like Stack Overflow are addressing problems like us, problems like for people like us, which who are you know uh, trying to write codes and struggling with keywords because every day there's not something new. So help will not help you much in that sense because sometimes you don't know. Uh, yeah, exactly. And he is right. All because Google is applying ML to your query. Perfect answer. So that's why. So that is part of an information retrieval, and how you efficient your query. Gets. So that's why I think it's better to go into Google and just type your query, and you get better results there. That's why I suggest people to go into help there and not go into Python. Okay.
So I have one
So
question.
sets
Sorry.
is basically very similar to lists, but uh, it's kind of doesn't have. It is always unique values. It doesn't have duplicate values, right? So I think it's. Let's go back to the Jupyter notebook here. So sets, I think it's very similar to lists. You have those same, in just in case of list, you are using set. You can introduce one, two, any integer, any character. Okay. Now this is very important where you are doing set differences. Now where do we use set? Okay, so, for example, your data might have repeated duplicate values, right? It's very difficult for you to go into your data, find the duplicate values. I mean, it's not impossible, obviously, but it takes a lot of lines of code, to remove the duplicate values. And duplicate values really don't help much in analysis, right? Um, because when you are trying to have GBs of data, it's really a waste of time, having to go and code duplicate values. So that's why Python has set. So set will remove all the duplicates. So for example, if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, if you do a set, then it will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it will remove that two fours and replace it with one. Okay. Now, what is set difference? So basically, if you do x difference y, it means x is there, you're just taking out the elements of y which are present in x. Okay, so let's see this. So I already have the output here. So x difference y, it means in postcard, radio, telegram, you're taking out radio and television. Radio is gone, television was originally not there even. So whatever remains is postcard and telegram. Okay, similarly, y difference x means from y you're taking out postcard, radio, and telegram. But postcard and radio, telegram, postcard and telegram didn't was not there even at your place. So whatever is remaining is just television. Okay, union is just a mathematical expression where you just join, not join. I mean, add your set, and of course, again, it will not take repeated values. It will only keep single instances. Okay, I think it's pretty much clear. Okay, so I'm not going in details into each of the commands because it's pretty much the same. And you just need to, for example, if you want to do an union, you just need to put union. You do need the difference. If you need to intersection, you just need to do intersection. Okay, so the subtraction is already told. Difference, add, remove is just add and remove the keywords. And iterate the set is similar to your iterating a list. Print maximum and minimum value in set is just the max of set and min of set, and length of set is again length of set. So I think it's pretty much the same. Okay. Um, okay. Now next is dictionaries. Now dictionaries is very um, okay. Dictionaries are very interesting to handle, and they operate in a little bit. Okay, I'll just pause here. Any questions till now? Yeah, one question. Is there any key value pairs and available like map in Java? Yeah. So dictionary, that's exactly where we are going right now. Dictionaries are the key value mapping which is used in MapReduce. Yeah. So, Namasan, yeah. So thank you so much. So whatever you were referring in map, so it is used as key value pairs in dictionary. So, for example, as we told, list has its own index from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but dictionary has key and value. So, key is, for example, eggs, and the value is this, so milk, cheese. So naturally, you get the essence that whenever you're declaring a dictionary, you need to declare both the key and the value. You cannot just keep the values, because dictionary will not automatically have indices in place. Okay, so this is needed. So for example, when you're doing a lot of data crunching, for example, if you're doing text classification, right? So your doc1 will be a certain vector of words. Doc2, document 2 will be a certain vector of words. So you cannot keep indices there. Okay, you need some particular tangible reference to your values. That's where the dictionary fares in. Okay, it's a very powerful tool and pretty much used widely. But having said that, people all most of the people still prefer to use list, because dictionary needs a lot of manual keys, and you need to have an index dictionary. So that's why I mean dictionary is very powerful, but it is used in very certain instances. Yes, dictionary can be a key list. So, for example, eggs can have a certain list associated with. Milk can have a certain list associated with. That's a very good question. Dictionary can have. Even lists of lists can be there. Okay, so a certain list, for example, in index 0, there can be eggs, milk, cheese, yogurt, butter, more cheese. Okay, index 1, there can be certain other instances. So there are lists of lists also there. Lists in a dictionary key is also there. So there are multiple data structures that can be used in Python. That's what makes Python very powerful. Very good question. Okay, so creating a dictionary, I'll since it's a little different, I'll run through it. Okay, yeah, I don't have it right here. Okay, yeah. So as I told you, you can declare dict with this command. Dict1 is equal to dict brackets, or you can introduce curly braces. Keep in mind this should have curly braces. Okay, so this is your key, and this is your value. Okay, and then this is your key, and this is your value. Okay, so okay, now you cannot do a dict1 plus dict2 because it doesn't make sense. Python doesn't understand what you're trying to do by addition. So it so there's a different way to concatenate two dictionaries. I'll just write down the code here. So you can keep your original dict1 and then update. Can everyone hear me? Okay, and you can hear, Sunil can hear. Vasant, I think there's a problem at your end because I receive yes from almost everyone. Okay, okay, Vasant, now it's good. Thank you so much, Vasant. So this is how you update your dictionary. So now if I print, okay, there's some error. Okay, one important thing is if you try to update a dictionary which has a common key, then it will give you an error. Okay, so because it doesn't know what to do with that key. uh, okay, I don't know why it's giving an error. Okay, this is there. But I think it should work. I think it will keep the key for let me see. Yeah, so it is updating dict2 in dict1. So dict1 will have a new value, so b will be from dict2. Okay, it will overwrite the value of 6. Does everyone get this? Okay, great. That's good then. Okay. So we have done the exercise looping. Looping is okay. So that's a good question. How it is sorted? I'll write the code on the on your screen right now. It is always sorted on keys. Okay, so you cannot sort on values. It's a good amount of code that needs to be written. I'll just write it. Okay, can you see this? Okay. Now let me show you one thing. It is sorting on keys. Okay. However, you can also sort in values. This is normal use. If you take the values and keep it sorted dot iterative values. Okay. You want me to do that?
This is Krishna. My question was on the first this thing, right? So it is basically
Maybe we can
putting
do that when
A.
we visit the function lambda. For now, I think we're good with this. Okay, I'll not spend much in tuples. Okay, since tuples is not very important, particularly because of the fact that tuples cannot be easily modified. Okay, it's exactly the same as lists. Okay, but it's immutable. Okay, so if you define a list, you cannot edit it. You cannot write. You cannot add anything. You cannot remove anything. That's why tuples are not very. So these are all trick questions. Changing a tuple doesn't happen. Deleting doesn't happen. Test, of course, you can do. Iterate, you can do. Okay. Converting a list to tuple is a very simple task. You just need to put the name of the tuple inside the list command. Okay, and it changes to a list. So normally, what happens is why this is mentioned when you pull out, data from databases, they are in form of tuples. So that's why you may need to change them into a list first and then do. But generally, people don't use it particularly because of the fact that I stated they are not easily changed. I think we have already covered this. What if expression and the statement, else and the statement. Okay, so if you want to do an else if, then you have to do it elif, not okay. And so um, okay, you want to try out the exercise, one of the exercise. Give me a yes if you want me to do, or you want yourself to do. I mean, okay, so you want to do it right now. Okay, so let's give it a try. Okay, you don't want to do it right now. Sunil doesn't want to do it. Okay, so okay, now for loop, I think, okay, now let me just introduce with the function called range. Okay, now when you put range, I'll just show you how what we are meaning here. Okay, guys, can you hear me? Okay, so range is basically whatever number you put, it will just create an array from 0 to the n minus 1 number. Okay, so whatever number you have put, you will just get number. So this is very useful in uh, loops, because for example, if you want to iterate over 6 times, you can just put a range and use this. I'll just take a 1 minute break and I'll come back and rejoin. Okay, guys, I'm back. So, any questions till now? Are we good till now? Any question on Python or machine learning that has crept in? Okay, Andrew, I am using Python 2.7. Probably it has been updated for your version. Uh, what exactly is the answer you're getting?
So I get range, open parenthesis, 0,6, close parenthesis.
Andrew, I can't hear you. Probably you're speaking on mute, is it?
Can you hear me now? I seem to be unmuted at my end. Can you hear me? I am unmuted at my end. Hello?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I'm not able to hear you. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. Anyways, I don't know why I'm not able to hear Andrew. So it changes for different versions of Python. So if you are using, I think Python 3 and above, that might have changed. But that's not a problem. You just need to know that the range is a function which introduces you to. Okay. Let's. Okay. So. Break function is something that you want to go out of a loop in case a certain condition exists. So break is not a function which is widely used in machine learning because the loops and all already are inbuilt inside the packages. Okay, it's not something that you'll use much. But having said that, it's good to know. So whenever this condition arises, you just break out of the loop. Okay. So as per your request, we are not doing the exercises. Okay, now let's define a function. Function is something that is a user-defined function. So, for example, addition is a function, subtraction is a function. It is already predefined in Python, but there are certain functions which you may be interested in having it at your own end, and this can be anything. So it can be a concatenation, it can be a sorting, it can be a multiple. Search, sort, and addition or average. It can be anything. So it's something which makes your task easier. So, for example, if you want to do something with again and again, okay, then it makes sense to create a function with that. So probably in terms of machine learning, let me give you an example. It is called a pipeline. So machine learning pipeline is something, for example, when you are taking a data, okay, you are cleaning it, you're making it more structured, than what it is right now, then you are, let's say you are removing the missing values. Many of the machine learning models cannot handle missing values. Okay, it will give you an error. So yeah, so many of the machine learning models may not be able to handle the missing value. So it will give you an error. So you need to impute it. Impute it means what is the most sensible way to estimate the missing value given some parameters. Okay? So then you need to form some models. Then you need to find. Then you need to do cross validation, and then so it's a whole pipeline. Okay, so you may need to run this pipeline on a lot of data sets. Okay, there may be 10, 15 data sets. So every time you cannot code it. So that's where your function comes in. Okay, so you make code which has this whole pipeline function in place, and then you just keep on using it again and again, so that it's more makes your code more user friendly, and it's better for everyone to understand. So it's basically there are certain certain structure which a function uses. There's a definition, there's a function name, and then there are arguments. Okay, and then there's a set of statements or whatever you want to do, and then there's a return value. Return means if you, for example, if you want the function to return, for example, if you're summing up the arguments, if you want the addition value to be returned, then you just do return of that value. Otherwise, a function in itself will not return anything. So, for example, this function is how you're defining is a hello world. Inside it, it is doesn't have any arguments right now. It's just printing hello world. Okay, so you can call in the function every time you call in the function hello world, it will print hello world. Okay, so you call in a function like this. Okay, so the function name and then the brackets. So function hello world with the name. So for example, print hello and then there's a name. The name will be fed in from here. So for example, hello world Shri, it will print hello Shri. Hello world MCAL, it will print hello MCAL. Hello world Anand, it will print hello Anand. Are we good with this? Give me a yes if you are. Okay. Thank you, Andrew. Okay. Um, so you can, as we saw that we can have multiple arguments. So for example, the hello world is a greeting and a name. So I mean, you can have your hello world, and then there are two arguments. These two arguments will be printed. Okay. So you can even have the arguments being specified with the value here, and of course you can have the arguments directly here. So I think we get this right. So yeah, if we develop a square root function, all the square root function is already there in Python, but it's just to give you a more, I mean, just to give you a perspective of how to use the function. So a is the argument, that val is a to the power 0.5, and then you are just returning. If you don't return this red val, then after either you print it here or you return it. Otherwise, you will not get anything, any return value from your function. Okay. So whatever you do, print square root 4, so it will return 2 and it will print 2 here. Print square root 9, it will return 3 and print 3 here. Okay. So you get that sense, right? So variable length arguments is, for example, if you want argument which is variable, for example, here you're summing up and then you're filling in the argument. So my sum you're having it 0. So for I and A, it means A is kind of a list. So you are summing up, you kind of adding up all the values in A, and then you're returning, right? So if you sum up this, then it's a 4, and then sum of 4, 5 is 9, and so on. So if you remember when we did sum in list, okay, when we were doing calculating the sum in a list, It's exactly the same thing, right? It is just summing up the values in a list, and it is adding them. Okay. So again, for example, if you are this is the list, and then you want to change this list. This is an argument. You want to append one number here, and then you print the appended data. Okay, so I mean appended list. So you can do all sorts of things here. Okay, so lambda functions. Lambda function is very it is a very important powerful tool in Python. They're anonymous. They don't have a particular name. Particularly, they are used in loops where you calculate. You have the function ready on the fly. Okay. So, for example, lambda ab is just understand this as a function name and two arguments, and then what is the function doing. Okay. So you just so this is the lambda, and this is what you are assigning to your as a return value. Okay. So print sum 3 4, and then you'll get the value 7, and then print 2 5 7. Do you want me to show this in code? I mean, any of this definition of function, or are we good with this? Okay. Wasn't wants me to show that in this thing. You see this, Hassan? It's doing nothing. So let's see. We did this right. I did this. Okay, so I think it has overwritten the function name. That's okay. So this is your output, right? 11. Okay. Now, if you give by any chance three arguments here, it will give you an error, right? Because you always said that you want the two functions and two arguments, and you need to operate. So if you want to have three arguments, you can just here a plus b into c. Okay, and then you do 5. So you can do this. Was it? Is this clear, Vasil? Give me a yes if it is clear. Okay, Vasil. Thank you so much. Okay. You want to do any of the following exercise? You want to try it later? So many of the, for example, reversing a string. Okay, just a sec. Sorry. So many of the functions, for example, reversing a string. Yeah. I know, Andrew. Thank you so much. Okay, many of the functions, for example, reversing a string, right? So you might be thinking that if I want to reverse a string, uh, I want to, iterate through the array, take the first element, put it at the last. This is typically how we used to code in C, if anyone has done that. You want to take the first element, put it in the last. You want to first check the length of the array, then you know take a loop which starts from the first and then assign to a new array which takes the last element to the first, something like that, right? But in Python, there are predefined functions. So, for example, what we did with the sum function right now, right? So we have actually overwritten the sum function what it was in Python. So what happens is for every time you do this, there are many short hand functions which in the background have the code, but you don't have to write the code. You just want to put the keyword, right? So reverse a string. I think there's a pretty much single word command to reverse the string. You don't have to even do anything, right? So basically, that's why it makes Python very, very powerful. Maximum of three numbers, of course, there's no problem in that. So, okay, so I think we will come to a close today. For tomorrow, we'll see each of the packages. What are these? So, for example, what is Matplotlib? Matplotlib is basically a package used for visualization and graphs. NumPy is array where we want to keep all the data. And NumPy is very powerful in the sense that it can have two-dimensional, three-dimensional, and even multi-dimensional data structures. Pandas is used as a data frame. So, for example, all the Excel sheets that you wanna, execute your model on, the every time the data is stored in data frames. That's how all the majority of the models, except deep learning models, have stored the information or data in pandas. Scikit-learn is the package which has all the algorithms. Okay, so we'll get to that eventually, and I think tomorrow we'll see each of these. So, any questions till now? Any questions on machine learning per se? If you want to ask any details of what we did, what we so I think today machine learning was, I mean, not introduced much. We just had a few examples, but yeah, as we go on, any exception handling in Python? Vasant, what do you mean by exception handling?
Are you able to hear me?
Vasant, I don't know why I'm not able to hear you guys. There's some problem. No, I don't think I can hear you. Just a sec. Can you speak now? Okay. Yeah, I can hear you,
Are
Vasant.
you able to hear me now?
Yeah, Vasant, I can hear you.
Okay. Exception handling, like display good message, like whenever there is an error with some functions like that.
I'm afraid there's a your voice is breaking. Can you send me a chat? Can you
Oh,
send me a chat? Okay. I need you guys to send. Okay. Vasan, I got your message. It says display user understandable message when there's an error in the program. Okay. That's a good question, Hassan. And just let me open this. So, for example, this thing, type error, right? Normally, the last line in your error message will give you some hint about what you are doing. Now, there are certain cases where it is difficult to understand this type error message, okay? But what comes to your rescue is your Google. If you just copy paste this particular error in Google directly, okay, without any edits, 99% of the times you'll get what error you are doing. See, because this is very easy, right? This is a single line program, and we know what we are doing. There are very little chances of having a different not understanding what the error is. But when you're dealing with big deep learning models and all, sometimes it's very difficult to understand because there's a lot of matrix multiplication and all. So sometimes it's very difficult to understand. So what is the best way is that you copy that error uh, in Sunil. I use 2.7. So okay, I'll start. I'll try to upgrade that. But since all my source code is written in 2.7, it'll be a little difficult. But could you, if you can share me your problem uh, pertaining to this? Because see, again, I'll reiterate, 2.7 and 3 might have some just little difference in syntax changes. Oh yeah, I got it, Sunil. But the thing is, all the source code that I have is more in 2.7. Okay, I'll try to upgrade that. By next week, probably we'll do that. But for this week, let's keep it in 2.7 right now. And thing is that only thing is that it will um, be different, a little bit of syntax and a little bit of updates here and there. But in essence, I think type error. Are you sure doesn't wasn't type error doesn't come in your case? Is it so? It doesn't come with 3.x. If you could just drop me your answer on your chat box. Okay. Yeah. So did I answer your question then? Okay. Okay, then we'll close for today. I just want, can you drop off your WhatsApp number so that it's easier for us to communicate on the chat box, so that we have further communications on that, as per even Sridhar's message on the top. Could you please drop your WhatsApp numbers? Thank you so much, Sharad. It was wonderful having this session. It'll even expand our scope even more.
Hello.
Yeah. Who is this speaking?
Thank you, Basant. Thank you, Sharad, for giving your numbers. And Basant, we will get a call from Sridhar maybe after half an hour, within half an hour. So, Andrew, do you have WhatsApp. Do you use WhatsApp on your phone? I think Andrew has dropped.
I still see 6 people online.
Yeah.
Person is replying to message. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
So Krishna Kumar, can you give your number? Because in WhatsApp group, it will be very easy collaboration. Any idea you want to share, you want to ask something, so it helps a lot. So that's why we are asking for the numbers. You can create a WhatsApp group, and yeah, thank you, Sunil. And Subodhi wants to communicate something, he can communicate.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah,
Who's
yeah.
speaking?
Yeah, it's Sunil.
Yes.
So, just I want to talk about the tomorrow's session basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm expecting there will be more examples for machine learning because in Python that means many examples are not required. But it seems
Yeah.
you will come with many examples with those
So,
libraries we are going to use.
the first weekend belongs to Python because many people don't know Python and we want to make them, you can say, acquainted with the Python syntax, what are the main functions. And we are not teaching full Python here. We are teaching Python that is required from the perspective of machine learning. So first weekend will be covering Python, and from second weekend the machine learning will start in real terms.
Okay, so even tomorrow for those three, we will just import them and use a few functions. Am I right? I mean, scikit-learn and other NumPy. We will import them and we will try to use some functions.
Yeah, so because if you are not acquainted with scikit-learn and matplotlib, later it will be a little difficult for you to have visualizations and plots.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that for that only I'm asking to come more data examples because that is the main thing where people are stuck to understanding the data from data to model something and then using these libraries.
Yeah. So when we are going for modeling, right? So each of the models will have codes associated with it, and we'll go into depth to each of the codes of what it means and all. Yeah, don't worry about that. We'll definitely have proper examples for in machine learning cases, and also I'll tell you the theory behind every model. See, programming is one aspect, but then again, the theory is very important because I think you were asking, right, if there's one particular solution to all the problems. So that's where your theory comes into picture of how efficient your model you can fit based on your theoretical knowledge about the model.
Yeah, definitely that will be great. And one more question. Why are we using Jupyter? Can we use a spider or some other Python interpreter where we can get the drop down? As for example, I'm using a spider. As like Visual Studio, once I type a dot, it will show sorted, add something, whatever available functions it has,
Yeah.
or a list or.
So actually, see, normally people use Jupyter because the visualizations and all they come into a particular view, and you don't have to switch views for the visualization part. The Spider, I personally I also use Spider also and also Jupyter, but then I think that should not be something which is stopping you from learning
Okay, means
particular.
that is not related with machine learning somewhere.
No,
That is
no, no,
not related.
no, no, no.
That is just an editor and we have to execute, write and execute.
Yes, it's more of an IDE, and so it's a user interface. There's a lot of things. PyCharm is there, Spider is there, Jupyter is there. Normal even Python IDE is there, which is very basic. So having said that, so it doesn't interfere in anywhere with your this thing, machine learning part.
Okay, that's great. And so, one more thing, can you suggest some good machine learning book? This will not be very advanced where we can't understand, but medium level which we can follow along with you.
Okay, so I know a very good book called Introduction to Statistical Learning, but the only problem it is in R. Okay, but it is. I mean, for Python, I think I need to consult with Ashok and let you know what book we can suggest.
Yeah, not for the Python machine learning I was asking because there I am a statistician.
Don't worry, we'll cover that. That's why we right.
So there are many books, but books are quite lengthy. It will take around 3 months to cover the books. So we will refer you some very good books at the end of the program, but please stick to the program till we are into training. Because if you start reading the book, then there will be scope will be very wide, and so in data science, because this training is a hands-on training with Python. And suppose if we go behind any big algorithm, so there will be a separate book on that algorithm only. So the size of the data science is very
big. Yeah, I don't want that too.
Yeah.
So one more thing, Vishal. So I did the Andrew course that was very, very mathematical only. So is that really those mathematics required in real life or with Python these libraries and data it's good?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So for the people who are data scientists to the core and they have nothing to do with the IT, suppose they have nothing to do with the R or Python, they are only working on statistical model or the algorithm, they are enhancing the algorithm or writing new algorithm like scikit-learn likewise. So you need that knowledge for sure. But in the IT scenario, you need to know where to use what, and it comes with the experience. Because if you want to study the mathematical part of the data science, it requires at least 3 years. I'm saying at least 3 years. That is also if you are a full-time learner.
Okay.
So the mathematical part is huge. But if you want to implement in a commercial word, you have to know which algorithm is meant for what, and over the period you will better understand what to use where, and Subodhi will also give you a lot of downloads which algorithm stands for what are the pros and cons of using in different scenarios. So after this training, your data IQ will be very good. You will be able to understand in real world problems. Suppose if you see elections, you will quickly understand, okay, we need to apply this. If we do the exit poll or we do the, you can say, any survey, what technique I should apply. So that data IQ you will be getting after this program only.
Yeah, that's the I'm also looking for. At least from looking on the data, I can decide which library, which algorithm I have to use.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Thanks a lot.
Thanks everyone. I think Andrew dropped a bit early, so I have mailed him to share his WhatsApp number if he uses. So we will be setting the WhatsApp group after tomorrow's session. And in the week time, if you have any thought to share or anything like that, you can put that on. And in the next session, Subodhi will take up all those things. Okay.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Have a weekend. Good weekend.
Ashok.
Yes.
Yeah, Shubhadeep here. So should I keep the records of the WhatsApp number or,
No, I have taken it.
Oh, you have taken it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ashok. Good night. Good night, everyone.